History is made tonight at the GEICO 2019 U.S. Figure Skating Championships with Alyssa Liu, 13 years old, and she becomes the youngest champion in ladies' history tonight. There she is. There's Alyssa on top of the podium getting that gold medal, because guess what? 13 years old, and she becomes the youngest champ. Once again, youngest champion in the singles ever. That is a huge victory for her tonight, and we're going to break it all down. Tears of joy tonight for the 13-year-old. 3 triple axels in the event. She's just the second woman to do that in history of figure skating. She joins Mao Asada. Pretty good company to keep. Nick McCarville here on the Bridgestone Ice Desk, joined by Michael Weiss, by Brooke Castile, and by Mariah Nagasu. Mariah, I have to start with you. Wow, what a night. Tell us your reaction from that ladies' free.
You know what? Unfortunately, when Brady had the performance that she had, I was relying on her consistency, but she showed us that she still has, she's not a robot, and she can't always do those triples, and she's human too, and the pressure got to her a little bit, and we knew that Alyssa was going to deliver. It's her first nationals, only 13 years old, and she laid it down technically so solid, and so she won the U.S. National Championship by jump content. And,
yes, she certainly did.
To follow Alyssa with Mariah, I think it was a lot for her to hear the scores and then know what the expectations were. And it was interesting to me that Mariah hadn't even planned a triple-triple according to her planned program content sheet.
Sure, yeah, she didn't have one of those planned. We'll go ahead and take a look, obviously, at the final standings tonight. It was a big night for Alyssa Liu, just 13 years old. As Mariah mentioned, that first senior nationals, first senior event, full stop, and she comes through. There's the victory, 2:17.51. She wins the free skate. Brady Tennell, second place. She had a fall in the free skate, as did Mariah Bell. And you felt like the judges maybe would have given Mariah Bell the shot at winning the national title if she would have been clean. A great night for Hannah Harrell. We'll talk about the 15-year-old. At 2:03, she wins the pewter. But Michael Weiss, you were ringside. I almost said courtside. I do too much tennis. You were ringside, ice side tonight on the World Feed with Charlie White. And just walk us through the emotions that you guys saw from up close for Alyssa Liu, because the night belonged to her.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, when she came off, she was literally right next to us. So as you guys saw her crying in tears of joy and emotion as she came off, I could actually hear her weeping, like right next to me. And I just had to, I was like trying to talk. I was like laying off because I'm like, let's just listen to this moment. There's so much emotion built up. I mean, as you know, Mariah, when you're at championships like this and everything comes to fruition and all that emotion just comes pouring out, and it was right there next to me, and I started to talk after she stopped crying, and I started getting choked up because, I have a daughter, and I know how important those types of things are to these athletes, from that perspective as well. And so just watching the whole thing unfold and watch her with so much poise at such a young age, those elements, and we talked about this in the short program, she warmed up with the triple axel, not in the 6-minute warm-up. In her warm-up, like as the other skater was getting their mark, she did a triple axel in the short program. It's just a jump that's easy for her. Technical is definitely her strength, and she just, I mean, everybody's going to know. She's going to be on the cover of every newspaper tomorrow morning.
Well, we were talking about this. She can't necessarily compete at seniors, we believe, until the Olympics in 2022 because of age eligibility. She was born in August 13 years ago in 2005, if my math is right, mentally, and that means that she won't be able age eligibility-wise to compete until the Olympics. Before we get to the highlights, Brooke, she owned this arena tonight. Just the feeling of the standing ovation and everyone who walked out of this building, they're talking about Alyssa Liu.
Well, figure skating's a sport, and in any sport, you love to see history be made, and she did that tonight. She's the youngest champion we've ever had. She broke that record. She's done 2 triple axels in a program, the 3rd of the competition, and I mean, you can't help but get on your feet for her. And she was just, I think my favorite part too was just the emotion that you saw out of her after her skate. It's just, as a skater, we know what it's like to have those skates where everything just goes right, and the relief that you have and the excitement, and congratulations to her. It was pretty awesome to be here for.
Pretty awesome indeed. Let's go ahead and take a look at Alyssa Liu tonight. She came out, she had 2 triple axels planned in this free skate, and she starts off, Mariah Nagasu, she starts with 1 triple axel. Guess what? Yep, I got it. Let's add a double toe onto that, and then she goes down and hits another.
She is just so cute too. Her press conference after she found out that she was the champion, and Rusty asked her what she was thinking. She was like, "Well, I had another triple axle.
Yeah.
And then
I have
after
more.
that, she said, I had the rest of the program, and it was just so cute to watch. But also, seeing her so emotional at just 13 years old, I wonder what kind of pressure she's under and what expectations she has, and what the future will hold as she grows and develops and gets a better idea of what is expected of her now that she's done 3 triple axles in competition.
Wow, I mean, huge moment. Here's the moment where those scores came through. Obviously,
So
Mariah
cute.
Bell still had to skate tonight, but to come through the way that she did it, and she wins on technical merit, obviously, and she'll grow into the artistic side of things in the future.
Yeah, and there was a noticeable difference in their scoring. I mean, you see Alyssa Liu, she had 217 in her total, and Mariah Bell was 212. Well, if Mariah had just hit that second triple Lutz, she would actually have been the national champion on the strength of her component marks. Alyssa's component marks were only 69 in her component marks, whereas somebody like Brady, it was only 61, whereas Brady Tennell's were 69. So that's like an 8-point difference in component marks.
And an earned difference.
Right, and a very much earned difference. I thought that was completely justifiable. And then vice versa, technical-wise, Alyssa Liu had an 82, and then Brady Tennell had a 68. So
Wow.
it's like, a 14-point difference between them there. And it was very apparent with their skating. Like you saw, Alyssa Liu, her strength is her energy, her consistency on those jumps, like hitting them one by one. And then somebody like Brady Tennell and even Mariah Bell, when she came out skating right after Alyssa Liu, it was, for me, a very noticeable difference with her speed into and out of all the jumps, her spins, the extensions, the lines. And that's why Brady Tennell and Mariah Bell are going to be representing the most likely, there has to be voted on a committee, but likely they're going to be the 2 that represent the United States at the World Championships, while Alyssa Liu, because she's too young, will be staying home and maybe not compete for an international competition at the senior level until the Olympics in 2022.
Michael Weiss, how do you
blows my mind.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I've been vocal about it always. I think I understand the purpose of the rule. The purpose of the rule is because they don't want young children hurting themselves by trying all these difficult triple jumps and quadruple jumps, and they don't want to encourage that by sending them off to world championships at a young age. Well, they're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, whether you're sending her or not, she's doing it. The Russian girls are doing it. The Japanese girls are doing it. Whether you're discouraging her or not. If she's one of the best skaters in the world, why is she not at the world championships? I understand the reasoning for it, but it's a rule that's not effective if they're still doing these things.
Last time... Oh, go ahead.
I have to say that between Alyssa and Mariah, I fully believe that Alyssa won hands down tonight.
Yeah.
But watching her from up here, where it's hard to present to, watching Mariah's program, I really felt her extend her fingertips out to us, and I could feel her program. And Shaylin Bourne has done such a great job. That music just gives me goosebumps. And then with Alyssa, I was with her every step of the way for each jump. I was like, that twitch is great. But at the same time, I love Witches of Eastwick, but I didn't really quite feel it up here this high, and it might have been different from down
I 100%
low,
agree with you, and that's why the difference in the component marks between
right.
them,
And that's why those scores are
justifiably
there.
so.
Yeah.
And because when you are 13 years old, and you've been in that position where you are the young champion, and you have the technical side, and you may be lacking a little bit on the component-wise, but you make up for it technically. And in here, she has plenty of room to grow artistically, certainly. But you build the foundation with the jumps and the elements, and then you grow with the component marks, and hopefully she will continue to grow and become the artistic skater that Mariah Bell and Brady Tennell are.
I'm going to go. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to go in the middle here, and I think it's great to be able to see both sides.
Yeah.
I love seeing a great technical skate that's exciting. There's new jumps being tried, and they're pushing the boundaries, especially with these Russian girls who also aren't allowed to go to Worlds. They're stuck in junior. And then also seeing an artist and beauty, and that's my favorite part of the sport personally, but I do love seeing in one event both sides.
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion. Let's go ahead and look at a skater who really grew artistically this season. Brady Tennell, defending champ, came out and was blowing us away technically last year. But Mariah, she's grown so much artistically. We saw it tonight. We saw a little bit of tightness, a bobble on her triple-triple, and then a fall midway through. There's that little bit of a bobble, and then a fall midway through on the triple Lutz.
I don't know what to say. I really wanted her to pull through, and I think all week we were like, we want her to hit that triple Lutz triple loop, and I'm proud of her for going for it. But at the same time, this fall is so unlike her, and I think it caught her off guard when you're going through a program and you're going, okay, check, this check, and then you take a stumble, it takes you out of your element, and then you have to reset yourself, and it's almost easier. It's a free program is not easy, but it's easier mentally to keep going when you're landing those jumps. Falls hurt, and they take a lot out of you.
I thought she did so well to recover, though, because it felt like it did shake her up a little bit, but she kept going.
I think it maybe the performances was because of two things. One thing, she had a lot of pressure on her being the defending national champion, and if you haven't been there, and you've been there, Mariah, and you've been there, it's difficult to defend a national title. So that's one thing. Second thing is she has a 13-year-old who landed a triple axel in the short program, and everybody's talking about. So she's got that and knows that if I don't skate absolutely perfectly, and I don't do this triple Lutz triple loop and the triple Lutz triple toe, technically to keep up with her, I may be in trouble. So it's like both of those things combined may have been a little bit too much for her.
Yeah, it was interesting when she fell on that triple Lutz. The entire audience was like, it erupted, not in applause,
Yeah, it
but
really
like
did.
everyone was
Yeah.
shocked. We're not used to seeing her mess up, and it definitely, she is human, like you said. And so I think coming away from this, I don't think it's gonna deflate her at all. I think it's just gonna make her want it more and make her pissed off a little bit, and she's tough on herself, and she's going to push herself even harder.
Well, we watched how she grew last year in front of our eyes, and I think she's going to grow even from this even more. Not to say that she wouldn't have grown if she was national champ, but Brady's proven that she's someone that really wants to work hard, and so this will put more fire in her belly. We already saw a lot of it this season. Let's go ahead and check out Mariah Bell. Bronze medal, maybe she had a shot there at the gold medal when she started this program. Mariah, we didn't see a triple-triple planned. We saw some frustration from Rafael Aratunian after the program. There's a double-triple to start, but tonight just that one error, those errors just seem to sneak into her programs.
She skated a little bit tight for me, but at the same time in the kiss and cry, she was so cute. She has the right attitude to work with Raf, who was upset with her, but she was like, it's okay, like, I'm gonna grow from it and get better, and she has another chance now to represent the United States at the international level, and I think these mistakes will disappear.
Yeah, again, we have two ladies spots for Worlds. Most likely they'll end up going to Brady Tennell and Mariah, but we'll see. We'll get that confirmation. I'm just curious, Brooke, should Mariah Bell be more mad? Should she be more frustrated with that performance, or that's maybe just how she handles the stress?
Well, we don't know if she's not mad. I mean, maybe she has
fair.
a good attitude out here. We don't know what's going on through her head and how she feels about it. But, I mean, sometimes I think in practice it's good to get mad and get frustrated and use that as motivation. But sometimes in competition you have to let yourself be human. And you have to say, okay, this is skating, it's my life, but it is just skating. There are other things, and you have to keep perspective. And I think she's good at that. And, I think that's my opinion on it.
Sure.
I agree with you that we don't know if she isn't mad. She may express it differently. But what you said is the vibe that I got from the kiss and cry right next to Raf was, why aren't you mad? And that's kind of the vibe that I got.
He was being serious in that moment.
And why aren't you mad was kind of the vibe that I got. I mean, I might be wrong. It would be the first time. But I
It'd be the first time ever you were wrong.
I've never actually been wrong. But no, it's a joke, of course. I've been wrong twice.
He's joking, you guys. He's joking.
No, it was. That was definitely the vibe that I got too.
Same.
It was like, this is the national title and that jump. And it was more also, he's like, it was the first Lutz. It wasn't even the second one. Normally it's the second one, sometimes you struggle with, right? It's like, it was the first Lutz that she missed. And so that's why it was like, what are you doing? You missed the easier one of the two.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Mariah, because she now has worked with Raf for a couple years, how does she use that as fire, and just kind of the ups and downs, because she's not necessarily a veteran, Mariah, but she's someone who's been around, and now she's got another shot, we would guess, at Four Continents and Worlds to prove herself on the international stage.
She's packaged really well. She looks really good. She's beautiful, tip-top shape. Her dress was beautiful. Her program is beautiful, and so she's in the right hands too. And Raf seemed really motivated to help her improve, and so I hope that she puts that triple back in for Four Continents and Worlds, because if she wants to be competitive against the rest of the world, that's what you have to do.
I agree.
Yeah, she certainly does. Okay, another surprise tonight. We obviously saw what Alyssa Liu was able to do, but what about 15-year-old Hannah Harrell? Huge jumps, delighted us with over 200 points overall for the weekend. 15 years old. And Mariah, I think you loved this pewter medal performance.
I really enjoyed it. Not only did she do triple triple with her hands over her head, she did double axel Euler triple Salchow in the second half of her program, and it looked like she was really listening to her music. And her costume was beautiful. Her makeup was on point at just 15 years old. She packaged herself really well, and I really enjoyed the performance, and I can't wait to see where she's going.
I wonder if she's a skater that we look at, next year to have a big senior breakthrough, Brooke.
Well, I feel like watching her on camera on video right here is much different than live. You can't tell how big her jumps are on camera. They're huge.
Yeah.
And seeing her in person, she's really fast, she's really athletic, but she's also very musical. And I think she is the whole package. And she was really a great surprise of this weekend.
And of note, too, she's not age eligible either.
She's
to
only
compete at the World
15.
Championships, so likely she'll be going to the Junior World Championships in
But
Croatia.
fourth place at your first senior championships? That's podium. That's amazing.
Yeah, she was fourth at juniors last
How'd
year.
you do your first year at seniors?
I
Oh, wait, you
I did
won.
okay.
Oh, there we
You
go.
won.
2008.
Just one
Actually,
title.
That was
though,
a
you
soft
know?
pitch. You could have cranked that one out
come
of the
on, baby.
park.
Actually, I want to ask you about that because after you won nationals at 14, what were the expectations? How were things lumped on you? It was 2008. There was a couple years from the Olympics. It's somewhat similar to what Alyssa is going to go through now in these next few months, Mariah.
I think I approached it a little bit differently. I appreciate that she was really emotional and understood the weight of her title because I won and I was like, well, that was kind of easy. That was great. Like, on to the next one. And it wasn't until 10 years later that I was like, okay, I want it back really badly. What am I going to have to do? And I tried the triple axel and it wasn't enough for me. But at the same time,
Got you back to the Olympics.
that was the main goal. So
Yeah.
check that off. But at the same time, she seemed to really understand what she was getting herself into, and I think it took me a little bit more time to understand and know the responsibility of what was happening. And then I wasn't a defending champion.
Yeah, no, it's really tough. Brooke, I mean, her body's going to change. The expectations are going to change. And she's going to have to continue to skate really well. You're a coach now. You're a former national champion. What are the little things that she's going to have to take care of to stay as a top level skater?
Well, I think as a female in this sport, it's really, really hard to keep up with the changes in your body. Your technique is one thing when you're young. You can get away with a lot more. She has some interesting technique into her triple axel. She doesn't really bring her arms back. And when you grow, sometimes you can't get away with these quick, like you mentioned, the twitch.
Yep.
You can't get away with that quick twitch in that tight, just like into the jump like that. And I think that when you grow, that's the stuff that really changes, and you have to start learning your technique maybe a little bit more.
Relearning.
Yeah,
the
you have
technique.
to relearn. I remember
Yeah.
having to relearn technique at 22.
Do you remember when you couldn't see over the board, so you
I barely
used
still can see
different things to look at when you were going into the jump? And then for me, I grew above the wall, and I was like, oh well, I can't use those points to look at because now I'm gonna fall flat on my face if I
Like
use
a whole new world. Oh my gosh, there's
I can
people
see
up
above
there.
the boards.
I also feel like the older you get, the more injuries you get too.
Right.
And that's a whole new beast to have to deal with, is injury and injury prevention and taking care of your body. And there's, getting older just kind of sucks. So, I mean.
I also think you look at someone like Laura Lepenski, and I actually don't know much about her whatsoever as a coach, but she's not a name that we hear regularly in the U.S., so you would think that U.S. figure skating is really going to work closely now with that team in the Bay Area, Mike, to make sure that she's got all the right people around her, not to go too far, not to go too fast, and just manage things one things at a time. Again, we believe we're right on this. She won't have a senior international competition until the Olympics in 2022.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling.
That's
It
what's
really is.
frustrating, right?
It is. It's a little frustrating, but I was like you were saying how young she is, how small she is. It was funny for me to see on the podium when you saw all of them up there. And did you notice?
had to help her up there.
Yeah, Brady and Mariah had to lift her up onto the top. And then when she got up there, Brady was still a head taller than her.
I think more
even
than a head. It
standing
was
on the
like-
podium below her.
That's
Just
insane.
a quick tidbit
Yeah.
about Alyssa's coach. She used to take from Frank Harrell, so
Yeah.
Frank was really good at packaging skaters as well. So I'm sure she learned from the best, and so maybe she could take that experience and apply it to Alyssa. She has a
Yeah.
national champion now, so
Sure.
she must be doing it right.
Yeah, and I guess, Mike, that initial question I was asking just about how important it's going to be to have those right voices in her ear, not only for Alyssa, but for Laura Lepenski.
Well, it's going to be difficult. Well, for Laura, I mean, she's she has a young talent, and she's groomed her very well to this
Sure.
point, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't see her not being able to continue to have her grow as a young talent in figure skating. I think she's around the right people, and the difficulty is really going to be if she does have to wait 3 years. That's a tough thing to tell a 13-year-old. Be patient, be patient, be patient. It doesn't matter. You could win the next 3 national championships, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, that's something that's difficult emotionally to overcome. We've never had anybody in that situation in U.S. figure skating before to win it at a young age like that, and then have to basically just ride it out and wait till their opportunity is 3 years from now.
Well, because the age eligibility rules were different when Tara Lepenski won in '97. I think she had already been to a Worlds prior to that. And then for you, did you go senior international right after you won nationals that year? Do you remember?
I went to Junior Worlds.
Junior Worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's changed even more.
Yeah.
So it'll just be interesting. The road is long for Alyssa Liu, but guess what? She is national champion at 13. This is going to be a silly question, you guys. One great moment from the ladies' weekend. What was it? Oh, Brooke, by all means.
Ting was my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't mention Ting Sui
Sui,
tonight, who had
I,
an incredible, it was a redemptive free skate
yeah,
for her.
and not only just technically, I thought she was beautiful. That program was stunning. She performed great, and I had goosebumps. I thought she was absolutely stunning, and I was really proud to see such a big comeback. And I think she was, third in the free skate? Did you just say that?
Yeah, I think third or fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, you know Ting Sui pretty well, or at least some of her skating. She had
Her team.
her team. It was a tough short program for her. And she got a standing ovation. That was awesome. She'll take that back to Colorado Springs, I would imagine.
Absolutely. But in answer to your question about that moment, I definitely have to say Alyssa Liu. Like, not only did she do 2 triple axels, she did 3 triple axels, and she was the only one out there attempting the jump, and it didn't faze her one bit. So that's commemorative.
Yeah.
I
Mr. Weiss?
think the thing that excites me is those triple axels, but just the fact that it gives U.S. ladies an opportunity to be competitive technically. I mean, you did it with the triple axel at the Olympics, and now to have a young skater that has triple axels in her arsenal, trying quadruple jumps, could hopefully master them in time to compete against the other young Russians who will probably be against Alyssa when they're age eligible and she's age eligible. Then you'll see really the best skaters and the best jumpers going against each other in the ladies' world championships
feel
and the
like-
Olympics, I guess.
Yeah, do you feel like I think she's capable of a quad.
Oh yeah, she is.
She's done a quad.
She's done quad lots.
She's done quad
her-
Lutzes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Do your homework, Brooke.
No, it's okay.
What
Juniors.
I'm hearing
I
is
mean-
like girls get on that pole harness and start practicing those
Yeah.
quads and triple axles so you can get a timing for them.
Well, her
Yeah.
triple
I guess
Lutz
at a
looks like a
young
double.
age.
It's that easy for her. Looks
Yeah.
like everyone else, the
Start
way
'em
everyone
young,
else
so
is doing.
start them young so you can get to the national championships and,
And
not
then
be able to go to the
anywhere.
Olympics.
And it's interesting too. Back to that point, even though
They have
is
the
that
ability to do it.
it's all about like luck of when you are age eligible and at your
In a
peak.
sense.
Like Zagitova, like
Perfect timing.
she fell today.
Yeah.
According to Jackie
At
Wong,
Europeans.
she fell today at Europeans, which last year she
It's been
didn't
a
fall
tough
once,
season
right?
for her since the
yeah,
Olympics.
so I think it's just all about timing, which that's where you have to weigh: is this right?
Yeah.
Should they be able to go? And then I think Mao Asada too. The year she would have won. Should I stop talking about
No,
this?
no,
Am I
no,
getting
by all
too, like,
means.
the year Mao was at her peak, she was too young to compete at the Olympics.
Yeah, 2006.
That's the year Shizuka won. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
right?
2006, yeah, Torino, yeah.
So it's interesting. It's
well,
an interesting, thing to discuss.
Yes, it is.
You're on Ice Desk.
That's
And
what
that's why we have more
discussed.
ice desks.
We have more ice desks. My moment of the weekend actually was hanging out with this one, Mariah Nagasu. Thank you so much. No, seriously,
that's
thank
so
you so much. I
sweet.
think a lot of people out here, we're seeing a lot of comments come through. We see your comments, you guys. And we really appreciated you being here with us, especially
Yay.
having just gone to the Olympics this last year, having hip surgery, and being here with such a fresh take on all the skaters. Thank you so much for being on Ice Desk with us.
Thanks for having me. This has been amazing.
Hopefully you'll come back at some point. You're always invited.
I'd love to.
Okay, well, tomorrow, guess what? It's time for more skating. We've got the men's short program tomorrow afternoon. That includes Nathan Chen. I think you know that name. And then tomorrow, later in the afternoon, we've got the pairs free skate. So a lot going on. You can see that we've got Ice Desk galore tomorrow. A lot of us will be back right here. We hope that you will join us. And then, oh gosh, we've got the free dance tomorrow night too. I actually forgot about that. So we have a lot of skating tomorrow, you guys, and a lot of ice desks. Tara told me that schedule page was 2 pages, and I forgot. And there's a second page. It's dance, free dance tomorrow night. Guess what? This has been Bridgestone Ice Desk. The ladies' free skate is over, and Alyssa Liu, 13 years young, is national champion. Michael Weiss, Brooke Castile, Mariah Nagasu, thank you so much. You guys, thanks for watching. Hey, Detroit, was that okay? Thumbs up? All right, good night, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.